It's the Cy and Dani show.
Oh, oh,
Cy and Dani show.
oh, oh.
Hello and welcome back to the Cy and Dani show. It's been a while, so you may have forgotten. I'm Dani,
And I'm sorry.
and we are coming to you today really excited. I'm super excited. I get to talk about the party that I got to have this weekend.
Party, virtual party. Let's make sure people understand.
It
It's
was.
very socially distant.
Yes, that's so funny that that's a new thing we have to say about parties.
We don't have to say it, but I just wanted to say it.
So,
Yeah.
I was the guest.
You were the guest of honor, not just the guest. You were the reason that the party happened.
Tell us all about it.
Well, Dani will be 40 in just about 2 months. 3 months.
Yeah.
January.
It's a while.
It'll be some time. So, one, you'll be 40 soon, and we had planned to go out of the country and have a really nice trip, and that trip isn't going to happen, and so that's one thing. The second thing is you are a therapist,
I am.
and a good therapist, which means you give of yourself and pour into the world. And yeah, you need to be poured back into. And so I decided after she says she wants her flowers now, right? Because we're also experiencing some losses and just like disconnection in the world. And you were like, man, like I want my flowers while I can appreciate them. And I think people say that, right? Like they want to know the impact that they have, but also to feel loved and appreciated and all that stuff while they're on this side of this plane, right? And so take all that together and you get a husband who's like, I'm gonna throw a surprise virtual party, but I need some help. So I called my mother-in-law, your mom, and I was like, look, this is the deal. This is what I want to do. And like, I feel like before I finish, she's like, yes, what you need from me? What we doing? Yes. And I'm gonna make a poster and I'm ready. So Millie was ready. That's what I call her, Millie.
I think that's so cute. Millie for mother-in-law.
Love you.
Love you.
You ain't know that.
I didn't. That's super cool. I love that.
Yeah, so we got together, devised the plan, and carried it out over the course of, it was about a month between me first telling her that I wanted to do it to it actually happening. And it was so cool. Like, people from all over the country were there, right? I don't think we've ever had these people in a room together.
No.
And so that was pretty dope. And it was fun, like sneaking and like making plans, and you ain't know what was going on. And I was like sometimes right in her face talking about it, but in code, and so she didn't know. I think something that came out of this experience, so your word for the year is trust.
It is.
And like there was a lot of trust in me and us, because I was, on the phone, and I would take phone calls outside on the balcony, and I can imagine you were wondering, right? Like, because that doesn't happen.
Right.
But I didn't feel like you were like looking for anything, like you just kind of, well, what'd you say? Because you told me.
Yeah, it just didn't feel unsafe. Like, it didn't feel threatening to have you doing that. And I'm pretty perceptive. And so I feel like if it was sketchy, then I would have felt more insecure or self-conscious about what are you up to. But instead, I was like, he's busy, right? Like, we're getting into a new quarter. We're getting into a new season. There's just a lot going on at this time of the year. So I just attributed it to circumstance. And so that was like a realization after, was like, oh wow, I really do trust that he can be busy, or like, not that you can't have a whole life separate from me, but there's a way that, we've been in quarantine together for a long time. And then it was only towards this last month that you had started to do some of that stuff. So it was like, oh, I guess he's got a lot going on. His schedule must have picked up. Yeah. But I wouldn't have thought that there's a surprise party for me. And like I just didn't have enough data. So the way they tricked me, little tricksters, was like we said we were going to do an interview for this podcast with my mom, which I think we should still do. I think it'll be really cool.
We will.
But we were going to interview her and like record it on Zoom and then have that be the episode. So I was dressed. I pulled out my Real Housewives of Chicago ball gown and I was ready for our interview.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a way that didn't feel like that was for the interview. I still feel like you didn't know exactly what was going on, but you were prepared for anything.
I'm going to tell you this. So like a couple months ago, so this whole summer, as you said, there have been a lot of deaths and trauma. This just has been a really hard year, 2020, for a lot of people, for a lot of reasons. Yeah. So there was a point this summer where I was feeling really spiritually like connected to energy and just feeling like I want to go with the flow. And so one day I just out of the blue was like, I want to buy a dress. And it was like a very specific kind of dress in my head. I found it online and I ordered it. I had nowhere to wear this dress to. I mean, it's a fancy ball gown, y'all.
We should put a picture of when we do it.
We will. And when I picked it out, I didn't know what I was buying it for. Didn't even remember I had it. It was tucked away in the closet. And on the day of the podcast, as we're talking about what we're going to wear, I had a whole nother outfit in mind. But when I went into the closet to get dressed, I saw the ball gown and I was like, I'm going to tell him I want to wear this. And if he does not stop me, then I'm wearing it. And if he lets me wear this, that's a fancy dress for an interview. But I was like, I'm doing it.
Yeah. And that whole day, right? So I knew that I wanted the whole day to kind of be special as if we were celebrating your birthday. And so
it really was.
Like a week or so prior, you were like, oh, I want some shellfish. And I went on a bike ride with a friend and they were like, this place has some really good shellfish. Like we weren't even talking about it. And so I was like, okay, that's going to be the place. So we go in the morning to get the crab legs. And then you were like, oh, I want some dessert. And so then we go and get some dessert.
My favorite dessert, some banana pudding. It was so cool.
Yeah. And we just kind of went with it.
And this whole time, I'm like, wow, he's treating me so special today. I feel so loved. But I didn't say any, I was just like, I'm going to go with the flow. I've been told you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And so I was like, no need for me to comment. I'm just let him love on me.
Yeah. And it was like, I've never planned a surprise anything for anyone, and it was really like fun and special and like
and emotional.
Yeah,
they broke me.
We did.
So I think I'm a pretty expressive person, a pretty emotional person. Everybody who knows me knows that. But in terms of the magnitude of love I felt that day, as soon as the screen popped up and it wasn't my mama on the screen, I was like, what's going on? And instantly the waterworks. Yeah. Instantly, I was like, what? It was really confusing.
Yeah, it took you a minute to really know like what was going on. I think you thought some people were recordings and like, really what? But that was like really cool to witness and know that was like genuine and that you felt the love through the screen and to see so much. It was a lot of queerness and
beautiful
blackness,
black and queer cheesing people, right? Like cheesing at me. It was so overwhelming. It was like a whole Zoom screen, y'all. Like it was so many people. It was so much happening, and they were all saying really lovely, meaningful things. Which now, for that, I feel like every person should get to sit in the seat and receive that kind of love, because I felt showered with love. I felt seen, I felt understood, and I couldn't believe you actually did it. Like, I could say a statement like, I want my roses now, but I wouldn't think that I just wouldn't have thought it. I was so honored. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It made my year. It was amazing, y'all. And I couldn't even stay the whole time. Like, I think y'all scheduled it for like 2 hours. At the hour, I was done. Actually, I was done after 15 minutes because it was just a little too much. Like, I was overwhelmed with emotion and overwhelmed with just gratitude. My heart spills over even still.
Yeah, and it's funny because I when you said like everybody should sit in this seat, you know, after the call, I was like, oh man, like all those people should know each other.
Yeah.
And like I just, you know, and so I'm actually thinking about doing something and like reaching out to a few of them to see if we want to jump on another call just to meet each other, because it's just like some dope people that need to know each other, and like we are the connectors, and it was amazing. And your mom and I just had so much fun planning it and thinking about you, and you know, I made a little like invitation with a younger you and a now you, and it was thank you for being who you are so that we could do that, you know, with you. That was really cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like since that happened over the weekend, since that happened, I've just been kind of floating. I feel lighter, right? We're in a week that's kind of heavy. There's a lot going on. We're in the process of hiring folks. Like, we've got a lot going on over here. And even with all that, I feel good. And so I feel like it was energizing, it was grounding to see my family, my mother's side, my father's side, my chosen family. Like, everybody sent so much positive energy, and I felt it through the screen, and it still lives in our house. So thank you, every single person who logged on. Thank you to every single person who didn't log on but still wore purple in celebration of it. Folks who I just felt your love. I truly did. And when I do turn 40, I'm going to remember this party. Like, this was the best birthday party. And it's such a cool way to remember this milestone birthday. In this 2020 that doesn't have to be like COVID quarantine. That's the only thing I've been holding on to so far. Now I get to hold on to some really positive stuff.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, because some people were like, did you know? You must have known. That's why, like, because y'all were dressed up. Because we were dressed up. Now, how did you justify dressing up?
I don't know. I just said this what I'm wearing. Oh, well, I think I had told you that that's what I was wearing anyway. And then your mom called like, can we wear purple? And I don't have a lot of purple. So that was my purple.
And I was like, no, I can't wear purple. I'm going to wear yellow. So that was even cool to be able to like stand out at my own purple party as the one not in purple. It was really cool, y'all. So hopefully if our editing skills are on point, we gonna both share a picture of me in the yellow dress, but I want to share a screenshot from the Zoom party.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna be in the video. We just gonna attach it to the post. But it was everything.
It was everything.
Yeah, and I think I just like there was so much that I learned in this process, or so much insight that I gained around my relationship with your mom, around the ways that, you know, when I look at the screen, it's like your childhood friends, my childhood friends, and friends we've met along the way, either separate or together, that kind of came together. And that was pretty cool to see the trust that you and I have built, so that that whole phone situation, like, it never got to a point where we were fighting about the phone in that, you know, time of planning. And that was real, like, that was special.
Our years of therapy are paying off. Couples therapy works.
Yeah. And not that you are somebody who has done that, right? But I think that shift in that month could have been something else. So,
well, especially because, like, in quarantine, like, if we're sitting by each other and we're both on our phones, it's fine. But sometimes the moment I put my phone down, I want him to put his phone down. But again, during this period, it just didn't feel, you were being so loving and tender even before the party. So like the build up, I felt very loved and satisfied. I didn't feel like deprived or neglected, and maybe those are the emotions that would make someone or make me a little more insecure about the phone.
Yeah, so like all of that stuff, and just seeing how people show up, you know, like people showed up.
They really did.
Like,
can you
showed
imagine
up.
getting a message like, her birthday ain't for 3 months, but long gone for her birthday party. And the fact that folks showed up were saying happy birthday and had made these wonderful backgrounds of pictures or words. I mean, I felt so honored. So when I said I was the guest, I meant to say I was the honored guest.
So plan a party for somebody.
Yeah.
Or plan a party for yourself. You know, I think, like I said earlier, like you pour so much, and it was just great to see and that people were pouring into you, and by way of them pouring into you, you know, I'm sitting next to you and pouring into us, you know, I got some of that too. And so I feel filled as well, even with, you know, I'm with all the sort of depletions of work and life. I feel full of love. So I want to say thank you to everybody as well for showing up and sharing love and just being in our lives. So
So as we do, we're sending
lots
love and light
of love and light
from our couch to your heart on legs.
There we go. So
take care, everybody.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.